Hey guys, it's Oluchi for Ways Breakfast. Thanks for always tuning in. Our research has shown that you're probably not subscribed to our channel. What are you waiting for? Make sure you hit that subscribe button below so you never miss out on our latest content and stay in the loop with all things Ways. If the channel grows, it means more great content for you guys. So hit that subscribe button now.
Hello and welcome to What Are You Saying? #Ways, where we talk about topics in the news as it affects us all. I am Usayome Sale. And today is Angie and I. Every day is one anchor. One anchor per week. As this fuel matter no let us see road.
It has been a long week.
Even me, I've told myself, if I can't find fuel this weekend, we will all be virtual. How have you been?
I'm good.
How's the week been?
I think the month has gotten off to a great start, and I think it's based on mindset. So irrespective of what is happening around me, I have decided that my life, my time, how I feel will be top notch. So, yes.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's very good to have that mindset. So I was talking with my little niece yesterday. Was it yesterday or was it the day before yesterday? It was their birthday. They turned 9.
Twins.
And so I was now talking to, the twins. I was now talking to her. And she asked me for something. I said, no, I can't do that. She said, no. You should say, I'll give it a go. I said, okay. It just quickly reminded me of all my training in NLP, where you're supposed to not think about impossibilities. So when you're faced with like tough situations, you are supposed to have that mindset of, you know what, I'll try, because when you say I don't know, it shuts down all the possible options or possibilities for you to even think of solutions. But if you say I'll try, I'll see what I can do, then it gives your mind the capacity to open up
for more options,
to look for options to that challenge that you're faced with. So
I agree.
She kind of reminded me. I said, thank you so much. She said, yeah, because and Tata, she calls me that you have to have the growth mindset. Okay. I say, for 9 years old, they don't teach them growth mindset. I said, who is teaching you? She's not her teacher. I said, Kai. See, imagine it to say some of us were
it was not being taught in schools at the time.
You have to learn those things, right? You have to learn those things. And I know how far that kind of thinking has brought me to where I am today. So why did I stop all of a sudden?
Yeah.
So it just kind of like brought me back. Yeah. So let me come to Sheyi. Are you there? Sheyi is zooming today.
I am zooming. I really need to this video today.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm okay.
How is the fuel situation?
It's been crazy. Transportation, even taking Uber is everything is expensive. There's nothing affordable. If you don't have money, just in your house.
I'm telling you,
because outside is expensive.
Outside is expensive. These days, I try to pack my food. Just make sure that I'm not spending any time outside. Very important.
Because you're gonna feel it.
Even relationships are tested at this point. When someone says, "Oh, I'm having a birthday party," you say, "Happy birthday." I'll send you a cake. It's cheaper than driving all the way to you.
Even cake is not cheap.
No, but
what size of cake do you want to send?
See, it's the thought that counts. So it's the thought that counts.
Oh my God. All right, so if you're yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, go to @official upgrade TV on YouTube right now and click the subscribe button. All right, so it's our ladies' night out, as you can already tell. So we will be having a conversation around how media has contributed to the rise in crime. This is based off of a story that we found trending all over social media. And here's what we found as today's quote. It says, the most fundamental question of all, that one that underlies all other, is the question of why people kill each other. So when we open our phone lines, we really love to hear your thoughts on this, right? Why do you think people have gotten to that stage where it's just common for them to, harm each other, rape, kill, and all of that? When we open our phone lines, we'd love to hear your thought. But let's run off on a break. When we come back from that break, we want to see what we found in today's news. International holiday today is a day of charity, and is observed on September 5th. Each year, this day was established by the United Nations in 2012 to raise awareness about and support for charitable causes worldwide. It commemorates the anniversary of the passing of Mother Teresa, who was renowned for her charitable work, um, of course, for her charitable work and devotion to helping the poor and disadvantaged. The day encourages people to engage in charitable activities, whether by donation to causes, volunteering, or simply spreading awareness about the important issues. Now, it's a time to reflect on the importance of giving and to inspire collective action to address global challenges. Now, this day is also important because it promotes humanitarianism, recognizes charitable work, and also inspires others to give. Yeah. Happy International Day of Charity.
That one day that brings a lot of awareness to just being good, being charitable, lending a helping hand. As individuals, we always think that charity is until you're giving, a less privilege. It doesn't even have to be a less privilege. We learn it by, it's just acts of love.
Acts of kindness.
Acts of
And I was
kindness.
going to say that it's not really so much of money, because when people see charity, they think it's money. It's not money. We volunteered our time for years to an NGO, and it's just because we believed in the causes of what they were doing. And so you can't be charitable. Sorry, you can't be charitable even if you do not have funds, right? You can actually contribute to giving your time, giving your expertise, whatever it is. You can also give services, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be monetary. So just do something kind and do something charitable. Always, not just today. All right, let me come to you, Shay. What charitable act did you do today, and what did you find for us in the news? Shay, are you there? You are muted in case you're talking, no?
Yes. I was saying that I'm trying to think deep. What did I do that was charitable today? Maybe just, giving somebody a warm smile, when I was at the hospital today, just to show them that, yeah, I can see you. Well done. You're doing well. You get better. I guess that's it. Since you said it's not just about money,
No, it's not just about money.
I think that counts as well.
That counts,
Yes,
of course.
exactly.
All right, so what did you find for us in the news?
All right, so what I found in the news, teenager confesses killing boss over 150,000 naira. A 17-year-old boy, Philip Emmanuel, has confessed to collaborating with his accomplice, Precious, to murder their employer, Mrs. Adine Iyabode Deborah, a caterer. Mrs. Deborah was found dead in her apartment after being missing for several days. She had been stabbed multiple times and had her head severed. Philip, who had worked for Mrs. Deborah for 5 months, revealed that Precious, so Precious was her driver, a recent hire, convinced him to commit the crime after learning about a 150,000 naira deposit in Mrs. Deborah's account. Under duress, Philip participated in the murder, but Precious only found 60,000 naira in the account and gave Philip 30,000 naira. You can just imagine. The Ondo State Police Commissioner Oladipo Abayomi has advised caution when discussing financial matters around employees. I would also say that beyond that, it is also very, very important to conduct background checks on domestic workers. It's very important to verify their history, verify and just be sure that these people are good people. And, so that you prevent hiring individuals with a potentially harmful past. You really can't know who is good. I mean, they must have been a sign, maybe a sign of violence here and there that will just make you know that, okay, this person, I don't think I should employ. But it's really sad she's late now just because of 150,000 naira. They eventually found 60,000 naira in her account. That is not even up to the new minimum wage. It's really sad, how people are desperate for money now. And I just really pray that justice is served.
Very sad, honestly, and it's so sad. 150,000. How far
Yes,
can
and a
that go?
teenager, 17 years old, is already committing a crime like this. It's really, really appalling.
Jesus.
It is well.
We'll talk more about this when we come back to our conversation for today.
All
Angie,
right.
let me come back to you.
Well, in line with that, my story
Another
seems
one
to
again?
fall in line
Wow.
with that. And my story is about the Ugandan Olympic marathon runner. Her name
Ooh,
is
I saw
Rebecca Chepchega. She died at 33 years after she was set on fire by her ex-boyfriend. Now, the story behind this is that Rebecca succumbed to her injuries, and these injuries were sustained after she was doused in petrol and set ablaze by her ex-boyfriend. Rebecca is 33, and she suffered 80% degree burns to her body. And this attack happened on Sunday. It was a brutal attack, and she was rushed to the hospital at Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital in Eldoret in Kenya. And the facility manager, Menak, confirmed this morning that Rebecca died on Tuesday night, September 3. And the funny thing is that this story just revolves around them fighting over her piece of land.
A land that her parents bought for her.
Her piece of land. And it's quite unfortunate that stories like this still happen, because I don't even understand. They were not, from the looks of things, they were not engaged. They were not married.
Even if they were engaged, even if they were married.
I'm just even saying, they were not engaged, they were not married. So what I'm trying to prove here is that there is no right.
There's no justification.
There's no justification. He has no
There are
right.
no legalities.
Thank you. Those are the words. So you would wonder how an argument on someone else's property, on my property, will result in my death. If after dousing her with fire, in petrol, did that transfer the ownership of the land to him? The answer is no. So why go through all that? It's just like the story that Sheyi just brought up. It's so appalling, the kind of things that are happening in the society right now. And she's only 33.
Okay, so for many years, threats and the deployment of brute force have not helped in resolving the intractable twin security challenges in the north, while the federal government issues threat upon threat. The blood-sucking elements called bandits and insurgent Boko Haram are scaling up their bloody campaigns. So massive rates of illiteracy and poverty provide willing recruits for the enemies of the state. So why shouldn't the government change its tactics? But how competent are those superintending over the nation's security sector? One politician appears to be eating his cake and still having it. Is he a political hermaphrodite? Right? His story is like that of a tail wagging the dog. I think this is a good way to just keep putting light or throwing light to the issues around banditry in Nigeria. It's the same conversation that I've had over time when I talk about how protests and strikes and all of those things don't work with our government. We've seen it several times that it is actually very counterproductive, right? Same thing, right? Because the president, this is coming up, of course, the president had ordered the Minister for State for Defense to go and set up in Sokoto, you understand, that go there and go and solve this banditry problem and end it and all of that. this is not the first president to say this. Buhari said it, and I think even at some point, President Jonathan had also done that. But where are we today? Nothing has changed. So I feel like, first of all, it's two things. Based on the conversation we had with David Hunteyin yesterday, if the government really wants to fish you out, they will fish you out. So it's either some people are actually benefiting, right, from these or persistent insurgency and banditry that is going on, that has kept them really fat, their pockets really fat, and they do not want to change status quo. And the government is also turning a blind eye to it. That's where I would drop that. So we'll come back from the break. When we come back from the break, let's discuss these issues around killings. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Nigeria, by extension, Africa, is faced with a lot of challenges.
With the growing youth population and very little engagement.
That is a ticking time bomb.
We're blessed people with a diverse culture who have a lot to say.
And yes, we are talking.
It is important we drive conversations that informs, inspires, and influences thoughts and actions.
If we say there is beauty in diversity, then let us embrace our diverse culture.
We must continue to courageously be the voice of transformation.
As we are the hope for the future.
Yesterday's conversation shaped today.
What are you saying to shape your tomorrow?
We know you have a lot to say, and we are here to hear you. Thanks for staying with us. Now, tonight we will be addressing the hike in rape, murder, incessant killings. Now, in recent headlines, a disturbing story has surfaced. A man has been charged with, the brutal murder of his friend, Christiana, a crime that has reignited discussions about the dark interplay between media and criminal activities. But this is not an isolated incident. This same individual has a grim history, having previously taken the lives of his girlfriend and even his own sister. So tonight we want to explore how media coverage and its sometimes sensationalist approach might be fueling a dangerous cycle of violence from social media platforms to traditional news outlets. How has our consumption of crime stories and sensational headline possibly contributed to this rise in criminal behavior? That's the conversation that we're having. All right, so I don't know because I'm trying to, when I saw that story, I tried to avoid it very well. But the fact that we have to talk about it, I then decided to just do like a faint sweep. So from this story around Ido Christiana that was murdered, right? She's a 300 level student and the murderer is a 200 level student. Apparently, there is a story around him watching some kinds of crime-related movies and whatever. And he had tried it before. I'll try to get the name if my producer can help me find that name. He had watched that film. He had watched that film before. And he had killed. Maybe I should just let you say this story. because honestly, I was just running away from that story. But since you have the story, please help us break it down.
Hey. Okay, so from what I get, I'm allowed to call his full name. So his full name is Adeleye Ayomide. He's a 200 level philosophy student at Labisi Onabanjo University. So apparently, this situation started off, I think, somewhere around the 22nd of August, where Idowu Christiana's phone, WhatsApp, was used to communicate with her family, asking for a ransom. And then I hear that a photo was sent of her in captivity, to prove a point that she had been abducted. And a ransom fee of 1.5 million was requested from her parents. And immediately her parents were able to raise the sum of 350,000, and this was sent to a betting account through a bank transfer. And after receiving this money, they went ahead to request for the bank statement of the said bank account that sent the money. And this happened, I think, on the 23rd. And then subsequently, after that, had been done, they no longer, they stopped communicating with the parents. So obviously, the parents would have involved the police, and then they started carrying out investigations. And I think the investigations started around the 26th of August. And by the time they now started to unravel the details of the bank account, they found out that the betting account, after the money was transferred into the betting account, it was transferred, it was also transferred into Idou's account, and from there to a Wema bank account. So obviously the investigation started, and then they started tracking, the usual, started tracking the account number and the account details. And this led them to his family house, which is somewhere in Ikorodu, where he was eventually apprehended and arrested. And until when he was arrested, only the sum of 100,000 naira had been withdrawn from the betting account. And yes, so that was how. So also when they arrested Ayodele, if I'm right, yes, Adeleye. When he was arrested, the phone of the victim was also found in his possession.
Yeah.
Of the disease was found in his possession. And obviously, by the time they came across his phone, they found the details of the transaction and the communication between his phone and email address to the family email address and the phone number that they were using to communicate. So all this evidence was found, and obviously this has blown up and the whole story came out. So, and then looking back, this kind of unraveled another story that we'll probably hear the details in the future. So apparently, there is also a new story awaiting further confirmation. And that is that in 2018, the suspect's ex-girlfriend was killed in the same manner. And also in 2020, the suspect's own biological sister met the same fate. And now the same thing has happened to Christiana in 2024. This is a very devastating story, obviously, because to think, I am unaware at the moment of his age. We only know of his
level in
school. And to even know that they were friends, and she was in a higher, obviously she was
in 300
level and he was in 200 level. But while carrying out the investigation, they found out that they were both very familiar with each other, because on their social media platform, they had been exchanging, posts and all that. But I can't even imagine how this, because at this point, this is no longer a murder case. By the time this extends, this is a serial killer.
It's a serial killer.
Because to think that, and to think that all these bodies were buried in his parents' house.
Oh my
I didn't
God.
say that part. Even Christiana's body was buried in his parents' house. So, when you...
So where are the parents in all of this?
Well, the parents are around, and they would definitely be part of the investigation. They haven't just been... I'm sure the investigation is still going on, and they're still questioning, people around to try and get as much information as possible, because now what is unfolding is that it's not just, this is not the first time, this is the third time. So a lot of things are unfolding, and I guess as time goes on.
And I heard that he watched a crime movie or something like that.
See, everybody watches crime movies. I am personally interested in horror, crime and investigation and things like that, but it doesn't put my mind in that place at all. Instead, it puts my mind in the position of security and being aware of the things that I, as an individual, can, take note of. Security measures I, as an individual,
Should
can
put in place for every time that you're going out.
and things to look out for. So it's not...
Okay, let me come to you, Sheyi, because this is actually very troubling. So the reason I'm trying to tie this to media is the fact that we see a lot of times bandits display their largesse. They display their ransom money. They've been doing that. I mean, I hear that lately on TikTok, they've been doing a lot of that. And I saw one video like that. I have not seen more than that one. Maybe it doesn't come on my timeline, but I've seen one video of a bandit, and the caption was that this is a bandit that is, displaying his largesse. So do you think that, right, this killings that is happening, rape and murder and all of those things, do you think that really maybe the media is truly helping to fuel this behavior and shaping the minds of these people to think that they can get away with crime? Given that, I mean, especially in Nigeria, with all the things that we've seen around, people not even finding justice for when an offense has happened towards them.
Absolutely. First of all, I'd like to say that the heart of man is desperately wicked. And from the story, it is obvious that he isn't doing this for money. The first time, the second time, the third time. I like that you called him a serial killer. It's just really, really sad because so me, I was not going to take it from. I know you had already talked about him watching horror movies, and NJ talked about, I say horror, is it horror movies or documentaries? Maybe real life documentaries and all. But me, I want to even start off with the seemingly less harmful media we see currently. Is about the Nigerian music industry, especially the music videos we see currently. We have a lot of videos that are very, very
suggestive.
Yes, the lyrics can be talking about, oh, happy day, I'm happy, I'm joyful, whilst the visuals are saying otherwise. Many music videos, they depict violence, drug use, criminal behavior. You see music videos where they are slitting people's throats. You see them carrying gun and making it seem like, oh, it's a cool thing to do. Which can be it's really bad because most of the people who consume this type of media, I can't remember the last time I watched a music TV station. Maybe I stumbled on a video on Instagram or YouTube, but it's not natural for me to go and start saying, oh, let me watch this video. But because these artists, these musicians have a lot of young audience, it's really, really affecting them. Because, you go on their social media, they are smoking, they are taking this, they are taking that. The media makes it seem like it's cool. Music videos celebrates criminal lifestyles. You hear of gangs, especially in the American music video, this person is dissing this person's gang. And it's just really sad because now we've made it seem like it is cool. And another thing I would like to say, back to your question, is yes, I think the media has been spotlighting a lot of bad news. And when I won't say bad news, they are even, they usually emphasize on, or rather, let me say, they amplify the most shocking or violent aspect of these criminal stories. For instance, you hear a criminal story and they are really detailing it. They are talking about it from Monday to Friday. And the seemingly good news, the maybe positive news, you hardly hear it. So it is, I don't know, but these are some of the things. Like I started off by saying music videos, they suggest a lot of things. What we see in the media, I know that bad news sells, right? Bad news sells. Everybody wants to make money, want traffic on our website, on our media stations. But it also suggests something. And you know how young people are easily manipulated, easily pressured. Anything can just, you can make them just say, oh, I think this is nice. I've seen this person do this. That's why I really want to appeal to, celebrities, musicians, people that the young people look up to set a good example, because it's just really sad. I was going to say that we need to shed more light. The media has we have the power to shed more light on positive stories in the country. There's really need for balance. Of course, I'm not saying that you should not talk about what's going wrong in the country, but there's need for balance. We always talk about it from one. I'm sure this week, all through this week now, what we hear is this story. I'm not saying that we should not let people know what's happening so people are more careful and the likes, but there's need for balance in the media, because now people, young people, or might not be young people, like millennials, older millennials, and the other generations might look at these stories and take what they call it now, just take something from it and say, oh, this person did it this way, they did not do it well, let me do it the other way. So that's what I think there's need for balance in the media, because it's just making things worse day by day from the news we are hearing.
Okay, so I was just going to say that, Shay, speaking to what you said about music videos and, and all of that, you remember that the Nigerian government had actually put a ban on films showing ritual killings and all of that. because I think based on what they were saying, some of these things also justifies, their banning of those things. But wait, if you are saying that we shouldn't put like voices to these issues, we shouldn't talk about them. Let's give it. How do we navigate? Still telling the story without having to put too much too much traffic towards the negative content.
I think the same effort you put into broadcasting all these news, also put that same effort to positive news when positive news are out or when something good is happening. Because, like I said, bad news sells. So media agencies most journalists are forced to, always, talk about it, make it put it everywhere, make sure that everybody is talking about it and the like. So I just feel that balance is key. When you realize that, okay, in this week, throughout this week, or maybe today we did this, we posted a lot of things about this negative news. Why can't we balance it? Let's balance it out. That's my own opinion. It might not work for some other people who hear this and say, oh, how is that going to
Everybody
work?
likes sensational news. That's what drives traffic. Yeah.
And another issue, because even if I say, you already said that I think it's NBC has banned some of all these stations from showing this and that. What of YouTube? YouTube is not Nigerian. They cannot ban you from watching some videos on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook and the like. So it just boils down to really family morals. That's why they say that the family is the bedrock of the society. Like NJ of this boy, he buried 3 people in the parents' house
in his father's compound. In fact, we are going to come back to that. Where are the parents? Let's take a break. I'd like to open our phone lines and I'll come back to you, NJ. Really, where are the parents? But stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, thanks for staying with us. Now, if you just tuned in, we're having a conversation around how the media has contributed to the rise in criminal activities. Now, please, let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join this conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. Our phone line is also now open. The number to call is 07025007749 or 07014242420. Please remember to turn up the volume of whatever device it is that you're watching us from so we don't get a feedback. So I was just going to say that, piggyback to what Sheyi had said. I wanted to ask, though, where's the role of poverty? I don't want to believe, because Sheyi, you mentioned that the guy is a serial killer, right? And you don't think he's doing it for money. No, I think he's doing it for money, because if he wasn't doing it for money, you can just kill people and bury them without having to ask for a ransom. Do you understand?
But just withdrew 100K to do what? Like, what did you use that money for?
It's betting. He moved the money into a betting account. Do you understand? So I want to ask what you think the role of poverty has played in all of these things. Because if we take it back to your story, Shay, the one you took around the 17-year-old boy killing his boss for 150,000 naira, that's poverty. Yes. That's poverty. I like, literally, it's poverty. But let me hear your thoughts, NJ.
What would you have me say? If if everyone went into crime because they were poor, then we'll all be in trouble. So I don't think is what's the word? I don't think is a justification for the acts that people decide or the role that people decide to play in their lives. Poverty has led other people to riches via the source of using their God-given brain to think up of ideas and come up with, opportunities that can in turn bring finance into their lives. So I don't think that poverty is a good enough excuse. Yes, we're all going through different levels of poverty in our different, small spaces, but I don't think that is a justification for this act. This is like, initially you said he was watching crime movies. I watch crime movies, but I get there's a different view when I'm watching it, and I interpret it differently. I'm interpreting it for the safety of myself, safety of people around me, how to be conscious and how to pay attention, just like when it comes to things like that, because we can't say it's poverty. Let me give you a story. So this week, I was just mentioning to you behind the camera that 2 of my colleagues were actually robbed, and they were robbed by Uber in conjunction with armed robbers
And
Uber,
ride
and
hailing service.
and the ride share services. So it's not about poverty. An Uber guy has a sustainable source of income, but it's the greed. We always want more. We cannot look beyond, and that is what what Sheyi was saying, the part where the media has to play. Because we watch music videos, there's a lot of flaunting of money, there's a lot of, flaunting of wealth, there's a lot of flaunting of affluence, influence, even the acts of criminal acts. And some people are watching and thereby there's the copycat syndrome. We risk what we're seeing in the society now is just copycats. When you watch something and you decide, I think I can do it better. The media can help from the point of even showing or bringing awareness to how these criminals are caught. You can focus on, you were talking about sensationalizing this kind of crime, but the media can take a different route.
No, but let me say this. Is this a product of what the media is portraying per se? Because the media only portrays a story that happened.
We're talking about the story.
Wait. Let me explain what I mean. You hear so many. Why do you see that we have a rise in cybercrime, for instance? People have seen it that if I do drugs, if I do cybercrime, I make a lot of money. And Nigeria, our moral system has gone so low that we don't even question people's sources of income. We just see that, you have money, and we start to respect you. All of a sudden, you are now boss. All of a sudden, you are now... So nobody questions, how did you make your money? You see a 12-year-old, a 14-year-old, a 17-year-old driving a car that you clearly... that have worked over 30 years, you cannot afford it. And nobody's questioning that person. So the point I'm trying to make is that if there's no rule of law, like the way we are seeing the way people are being successful with cybercrime and all of that, and we are seeing that measure of people being arrested, do you understand? You really can't put the blame on the media, because the media can only project what has happened. We have seen several people win it or make it through Yahoo. They made it through betting. They made it through all of these things. But we have not seen the same measure of, the same measure of number of people being arrested, being jailed, being sentenced to prison and all of that for probably crime. So when a child sees this and the child says, okay, I think the way to go right now is crime. Do you understand? So a lot of people would be more inclined towards, pursuing the criminal side of things, because I have heard it in different quarters where they say, if you want to steal money, for instance, in Nigeria, make sure you are stealing in billions, so that by the time you are done settling all the the lawyers and the security operatives, you'll still be fine. So that's the point. So I wouldn't say it's more of the media. It's the fact that there's an absence of justice. There's an absence of rule of law. Because, so many people have been tweeting about this young girl saying that it's possible she might never get justice. Do you understand? Yeah. So, and this is where sometimes it breaks my heart when our leaders kind of overlook certain things. It might start with a small thing, but it escalates. If you as a leader, people watch you, they see you do criminal activities, and you are not jailed. Do you understand what I'm saying? There's no guarantee that more people will not say, oh, please, I think crime is the way to go. So it is not so much of the media. It's the fact that there is no... The system is so bad that there is no rule of law, there is corruption, and there's also absence of justice. Well, let me take Loma. Good evening.
Hello.
Hi, good evening. You're live, Loma. Can you hear us? Okay. We need to move on. Hello. Loma, are you there? So go ahead.
So when I said media, I mean the media definitely still has a part to play, even in the reporting of the news. You see, sensationalizing just the act is what lets people know that they may or may not be caught.
Okay, let me take Loma again. I'll come back to you, NJ. Loma, you're live.
Good evening, my dear sister.
Good evening.
Please greet the other sister for me.
You go here.
Let me just tell you, media, social media, especially, has contributed immensely in criminal activity. I'm telling you, you see this Yahoo boy. See, tomorrow you will see a boy that usually pays, that is driving Lexus Jeep. You start asking, how did it come about? These are the things they learn from media. But if I blame social media in one area, I will also blame the economy of this country, the leadership of this country, for not balancing. Because if things were not normally done in this country, some people who make up some people who fix their eyes on social media from morning till night, looking for who to defraud, they will not be doing it. They will look for some other things to do. And you know, just like people say, poverty. Poverty is one of the things that is causing it because government decided to throw in poverty for Nigeria. And the people don't know what to do again. They decided to enter social media to look for a way to play Yahoo and do this. So if government has to stop it, then these people need to be arrested and sentencing of people should be done speedily so that people's minds will now be out from crime. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Loma. Thank you so much. Angie, let me come back to you.
So what I was saying was, though I lost my trail of thought, but what I'm trying to say is that why I said the media has a part to play in the reporting. What kind of information are you reporting?
Well, that's what I'm trying to explain to you, Angie. My summation is the fact that media can only report an incident that has occurred. They will not go and fabricate a story from the blues. So I'm saying that what we have seen over the years, people, the amount of, what's it called, criminalities is very high. But the amount of probably maybe justice or maybe legal actions that have been taken against those people is quite low. There's no balance. Yeah. So, and media cannot go and fabricate a story. Do you understand? Except maybe you want to find a way to work around it. Because if they are reporting the true situation of things, there is no balance in the events. So if, for instance, the government, as quick as we are seeing these issues, we are also seeing people going to jail. Yes, people going to jail, people being sentenced to life imprisonment. The media will report it, and they will, that balance that we're seeking, will find it.
I agree with you. The level of media exposure to various types of crime as against the justice system, bringing these stories and these people to book. It doesn't balance.
It's not balanced.
Most of and that is why a story like this can go this far. This story started since 2018, which means that if the police knew exactly if the 2018 case was investigated and the 2020 case was investigated, if they were really doing their job well, something would have clicked in their head that, this guy is in the center of these two cases, and that would have even helped to prevent this third situation and scenario that went on. That is what the police and the justice system is supposed to get into
security
action.
Operatives, yes.
If proper investigation was done and carried out, you would have realized that we have a similar story. And I don't even know how they even keep records of crimes. Because if they keep actual records, these things are, with the way technology is now, stories are supposed to be able to overlap each other. That's the word. Overlap each other, and someone
will be a meeting point.
Yeah, and someone will pick it up and say, this guy was, he was...
His girlfriend was...
Yes.
His girlfriend died.
We interviewed him.
Or his girlfriend disappeared because we don't know whether...
was kidnapped, because it's a kidnapped situation always. So your ex-girlfriend was kidnapped.
Your sister was kidnapped.
You were questioned. Your sister was kidnapped. And the same thing, they both lost their life. I don't know if ransom was paid in those stories. Those stories will come up in the future. And it's happening again. So definitely, at the second time, if we really know what we're doing, it should have raised the red flag if someone in that police station or someone in that situation would have noticed it. So these are the issues, and these are the kind of things that we're expecting, from the justice system and from the rest of the security operatives, the police, I don't know how far it goes to maybe involve the DSS and the likes. But stories like this, the same way that you're putting, we keep seeing news stories of people being seated in front of the police station with guns and ammunition. How many times do we actually hear that these people were taken to court and they were persecuted?
Shay, let me come to you.
Okay, so I agree with what NJ said, but I want to believe that the police did not know the first and second time. Because if they did, they would have done, I want to believe that they would have done something. Because the first one, well, I don't know whether it was the ex-girlfriend, the second one, the sister. That's why I'm even asking, where are the parents? Are you sure it's not a combined effort? Why?
No, but is it possible for you to bury a body in a compound, Shay, without your parents knowing? I don't know. Which kind of compound is that?
Maybe they have
even if the compound is not cemented.
Maybe they have a farm in the backyard.
It would be nice to see what the picture of that compound looks like.
I really don't know. And we are hoping that as it unfolds, we'll get to hear the news. But
this story, we must at least.
Because for me, like you rightly said, for me, it is very important that they go and check the involvement of the people around in that house. Do you understand? Because don't forget that we've heard so many crazy stories about people saying that they have to kill a particular person, commit a ritual to get rich, to get this, to get that. And we've seen, there was a story one time where a mother and I think her son killed one boy in the name of, they were trying to perform a ritual or something. Yes. So we've heard those kind of stories before. I mean, it's not strange to us in Nigeria, right? So that's why I'm wondering that where are the parents? They cannot just, this boy cannot just be arrested in isolation. They have to find out what the parents know, how much they know, and how they will bury 3 dead bodies in one compound.
Their daughter was also buried and nobody raised an eyebrow. That's the height.
That's very scary.
That's the height for me.
That's very scary. That's very scary. But let's even deviate a little bit. See this South African one now that killed his girlfriend over a piece of land. And a Ugandan guy, a Kenyan, she is Kenyan. Ugandan that killed his girlfriend over a piece of land. The 150K boy that killed his madam over 150,000 naira. Why are we having all of these crimes, for goodness sake? Why?
Like NJ said, it is greed. You just want, and the annoying thing is that after they
but is it that greed does not let you take, greed makes you take your brain to take leave of absence? Is it that you don't know that you can go to jail?
It's a mental sick. At that moment, it feels like that money is everything. But when you now get it, you're like, okay, I did this just to get that 150. Is even making me more upset because for what? And they didn't even get the 150. It was 60,000 naira they found in the woman's account.
You know, there was a recent killing in Ikoyi, in Parkview, where a prominent person's daughter was killed by the house help. Yeah. And they now try to make it look like she was murdered by the ride-hailing whatever
service.
My God.
There is even another story that came out during the week of 2 brothers that killed, I think, a 17-year-old boy, cut off his neck. Also for ritual killing. So it's amazing. I know you say it's poverty. Yes, poverty has a part to play. But as individuals, with morals, with values, we decide where we take this in our head. We decide where we take this. So it's not, I would not consciously say it is poverty. A poverty mindset is a different caliber. Poverty in the land is different from a poverty mindset. A poverty mindset is where you lock yourself to the thought of you will never make it. So you are fighting that. In fighting that, you are doing everything possible, not knowing fully well that you are dragging yourself down. Because now you have gone ahead to kill. You have become, this guy is going to be on record as a serial killer. His name is going to go down in books. People will talk about him. He will come up as an example of what you shouldn't do. Because this is a whole different, it's not even, because the level of money that is running around this is 100,000 naira. And you were going to still just finish the money on betting.
I want to ask a question. How do we identify who not to be friends with? Because
Well, if only we knew.
no, because you see,
Break.
it's very, very worrisome how I would have a friend and I'll be conscious around that friend. And because I mean, this Christiana clearly was his friend, right? How,
I don't
because
know if you saw. Sorry, well, I don't know if you saw, Angie, I don't know if you saw the WhatsApp chats that leaked. So he was chatting her friend to ask, just to know what's happening. So I think he messaged her or she messaged him to tell him that, oh, Christiana is missing, and kept asking, oh, have her parents reported to the police? Oh, they tell this person to not go anywhere. He was just using that one to make sure, to know what was happening at the moment. So it's really scary. How do you choose your friends? Like,
because really,
it's
how
a
how do
really
you?
serious question to
Because
ask.
I mean, honestly speaking, right? I will never. I have learned over the years that never treat people, never interpret the actions of people based on your own how you would act, right? Because people, if you notice people actually do project who they are on you, right? So I have learned not to. I've learned not to project who I am on other people. I try to understand who they are and treat them the way they are. Because I take my time to study people. Do you understand? So if I study you and I analyze you and I tell you who you are, that's exactly who you are because I have taken my time. Sometimes it takes me years, but I quietly study people. So now I'm wondering, how do I even decipher? Because I know that they say that, you understand, everybody has intentions. What I always say to people that all of us here, I have a motive towards NJ. I have a motive towards you. My prayer has always been that let my motive not be the one that is detrimental to you. Everybody would like to take advantage of other people. You might see something that you like, you want to take advantage, and maybe, oh, this person is a celebrity, you want to lash on it so that you can grow your status. Like, there are different motives to why people come close to each other. You have different motives. That one is standard. But my prayer has always been that let your motive not be the one that will kill me or consume me. Do you understand? Let it be that it's a motive that both of us will be mutually beneficial. It will be mutually beneficial to each other. But you see, these days, the way these young people are going, I'm so scared. I am extremely scared because the kind of things I used to hear before, when we were growing up, if somebody said the person don't like you, now last they'll just wait for corner, slap you, beat you. That's all. But these days, you hear of cases of murder, you hear of cases of kidnap, you hear all sorts of vile, criminalities going on in the minds of these people. And I'm wondering, who is raising these people? How do you now identify who to even be friends with, who not to be friends with? Because, I mean, we could casually go to our friend's house, lie down, have breakfast, have lunch, have dinner. In the night, we say, okay, oh, high five, we are going. These days, you can't even just go to anybody's house anyhow. Is it that they are drugging you? They are raping you? There's just too many things going on. As well.
I think you should just try to be careful. Share your location everywhere you're going.
If you share your location, you're already dead now. Cheyi. The point is don't even go. That's the point. Don't go.
So this situation, she was going to work. So I don't even know how they met. Maybe he just said, "Oh, where are you?" I don't even know how they met.
They are friends, so there must have been
when
some interaction going on as to maybe he even set up wherever she was going to, so he knew her route or something. But there's always a link to all
Please,
these things.
I want to just beg young people, don't go anywhere. Even if, see, the friend that you know, see, I tell my children, I'm very, very, I don't let them go anywhere. There's no point. Because, see, there's no innocence anymore. A lot of people just have too many ill intentions, and it's really worrisome.
Oh, I know, but you can't keep everybody.
I beg.
Because you are afraid of their safety.
I beg.
I don't think that is even
I beg. More take comment. I beg. Angel, leave that matter. Leave them there. May they not go anywhere. May they not just go anywhere. Let's take comments.
Media might play a role, but we should avoid conjectures and look at the problem from the root. Like NJ rightly said, we are all exposed to certain external stimuli and conditions, but we all process this quite differently. Truth is, some people are damaged upstairs, and with regards to empathy and disregard for humanity. Look at serial killers in other countries. There's never really a ritual or monetary benefit motivating their actions. I'll have you all recollect that these appalling behaviors have existed prior to social media.
Absolutely.
So the media is not necessarily the problem. However, we cannot downplay the power of the media. So the media can do their part. Appropriate and effective law enforcement would deter and greatly reduce the likelihood of such gruesome acts. As Sheyi said, it is a terrible world we live in. Really sad hearing about these such stories.
Thank you so much. Go ahead, Sheyi.
Okay, good evening, my beautiful sisters of What Are You Saying? How has media contributed to the rise in criminal activities? My dear beautiful sister Uwa said that the job of the media is to tell and portray what happens in a particular place and time, which I totally agree. She added that the level of cybercrime is high and people that are involved in cybercrime are not questioned concerning how they make their money. That also needs to be addressed. My dear beautiful sister NJ made mention of the level of hunger in the land. She gave an example of when someone is trying to make money through killing. That makes us to be in serious trouble. My heart goes out to the family of that madam that lost her life due to 150,000 naira in the hands of a 17-year-old chef, and also the family of the 33-year-old athlete that was killed by a boyfriend due to a piece of land. It is so sad that people resort to killing to survive. It is a cause for concern. Sister Owa said that it is very difficult to get a true friend these days. It is really sad and painful. My name is Daniel Ilo, who is regular fan.
Yeah, so I think the name of that movie is Richard, right? Thank you, Shola. It says he became a serial killer by mistake, then he continued killing. And they said this guy was watching that film. It is well. It is well. Let's just all be conscious and careful out there. Test all spirits. Just test all spirits. It's not everybody that must be your friend. And you don't have to, don't be compelled. Learn to say no. Learn to say no. I don't know. Just learn to say no. All right, so if you missed our quote for today, it says the most fundamental question of all, the one that underlies all others, is the question of why people kill each other. We don't know why, but just be careful, please, so that you're not falling victim of some very, very debased minds. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 8 p.m. as we bring another great conversation to your screen. How are they going anybody else?
Hey guys, it's Oluchi for Ways Breakfast. Thanks for always tuning in. Our research has shown that you're probably not subscribed to our channel. What are you waiting for? Make sure you hit that subscribe button below so you never miss out on our latest content and stay in the loop with all things Ways. If the channel grows, it means more great content for you guys. So hit that subscribe button now.